Welcome back. What
Yep.
episode is it?
Episode 14. 1
Episode
4.
14. Almost at the 21 mark.
October 27, episode 14, 2024.
Great to be back here.
Yes, sir.
3 months now?
Back in action.
Yes, 3 months.
Almost 3 months, man. We started this on August 1st. So one more weekend, we're basically 3 months in at 14. Well, now next week is going to be 15. But yeah, man. We're building the foundation for this. Going strong, bro. Insane.
Yeah. Especially just like considering, obviously how we started to where we are now. It's like the massive growth and development, even let's just say, even like the skills that we've learned along the way. It's just like I don't reckon we had less of a skill in speaking like than what we did now, because we've just been practicing it over and over, including our guest as well.
All right.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, we've just been improving the skill, and yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. The whole journey, it was a kind of like just a like you at the end of the day, you're going through different like aspects of the podcast, from content creation to the way you want to present yourself to how you even, like, for me, I'm making more effort to just look at the camera and talk, and just like, it's, when you're doing this whole like online thing, putting a face to the camera and then posting it, you have to be like super, as if you're the person behind the camera is literally there, in front of you, and you have to make eye contact, just out of respect. But yeah, we're going strong, man. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I put nights and days on this stuff. And you've clearly done the same thing, then. Like, my goodness, it's like, even to host our guests, like, some weeks, man, we're losing like crazy amounts of sleep, but just that the drive and passion just kept on going, man. Just like the
It's all
fire.
part of the journey.
Yep, 100%, man. I mean, yeah. Some topics. I mean, for this podcast, let me be straight with you. I didn't have anything written down on my notes for this podcast, but Denyin, if you have anything to say, you can go straight for it, man. Whatever's on your mind.
I was actually just looking at my books at the moment, and then just been going through the whole list and being like, do you want to go on a bit of like a Chinese, like the Maoist China? I can't even say the word of it, or like the KGB, because I was just looking at those two, or even like a
It's
bit
been a
more.
while since I actually, it's been a while since I've gone or I've studied like Maoist regime. But if you have anything to say from that book, man, go.
I haven't actually read it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, is there a book that you vividly remember, something you learned from that shelf that you're looking at right now?
Crime and Punishment. Have you heard of
Cool.
that?
Never heard of it.
So it's pretty much on how the person can completely destroy their soul, and like how like a psychology when the God complex isn't there. Yeah, so it's how a person can completely destroy their pretty much God complex and their soul to, in the way, like pretty much to kill another person for more so the greater good. Yeah, the greater good. And then pretty much that's about all I've read, because I'm like, I can't read anymore because I've literally got to put the book down. But there's like just a psychological intake of it. It's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, some books, it's actually like, maybe you're just not ready yet, like mentally, to read it. That could also be a thing. Or, like, sometimes books. I mean, a book that had a lot of impact on that. That's similar to the one you mentioned. Is The Stranger. In French, is called L'Étranger by Albert Camus. It's basically, I don't know if you heard of this one.
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Yeah, so I can summarize it. Oh, well, not summarize it, but just like the gist of it. It's basically about this whole concept called strangeness. In French, we call it like kind of l'incompréhension ou l'absurde. something that's absurdism. So it's like this another kind of like ism philosophy or whatever. There's like so many isms that I've gone to in in the last several episodes of the podcast, but like just me, like scientist slash philosopher slash in engineer. But yeah, it is what it is, man. That's just who I am, bro. That's
You
just
might
who
have
I
your
am.
own little like Socrates sort of, you know.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm just for me, it's like I'm just, bro. I feel like I'm creating an AI, like in abstract, like philosophy land. Like it's insane. But yeah, that's just me, man. What can I say? But yeah, that book. Going back to that book called The Stranger. Basically, it's about this guy who just goes through life kind of mechanically and doesn't find meaning or purpose, doesn't understand, why things are happening, in the end that's what I'm getting now, like basically. And then he's like he needs something like to trigger himself to kind of like open the door of life, like actually see what is life about. And then the author Albert Camus is like, there's only three solutions, like basically. He's like, the first one is like, you have to define your own purpose as a man, like self-defined purpose. And that solution was confirmed by another author later on the guy who basically wrote on existentialism, Sartre, J.P. Sartre, Jean-Paul Sartre, that guy. And then two other solutions was suicide, and then the last one was on like religion. But he said religion is an excuse. That's what he said. Like, but going back to like that, but this guy Albert Camus, his background, like it's insane. Like he was an Algerian who identified as a French guy because he grew up there. That's where he was raised and all that. So, but originally he was Algerian. That's his background, and that's the story that he kind of wrote in that book. But like it's similar to the book you mentioned because it's like a guy who kind of has, well, it's not God complex, but he's like always questioning why things are happening in life and really tries to find meaning and purpose. But just instead of going on the positive, like high side, like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna define meaning, I'm gonna find purpose, I'm basically my own God,
Yeah.
right? He's like on the other side where it's like he can't find meaning, he can't find purpose, everything's like depression, everything's like nothing makes sense. You know what? I need something to trigger me for good. He takes a gun and he just kills himself. Like
Did
that's what he did,
not
like in the
expect that.
story. Yeah, he that's what he did in the story. He had to do things in life to trigger himself to kind of like, oh, shit, bro, I need like some more meaning. Like it's so depressed. And then he has to kind of like put himself in a situation to say, oh yeah, okay, I gotta go to prison. But prison is not enough. Like I'm not feeling any purpose in life. Then he's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna walk on the beach. Sun's like beaming at me. I'm like, shit, sun's beaming at me. Okay, shit, I'm gonna take a gun. Like, bro, that's what the impression that I'm getting. But he didn't write it that way. Albert Camus didn't write the book that way. That's just my reaction to it,
Yeah.
given my experience and as I said, like my background and all that. But he wrote it in a way to kind of like promote the user's intellect to say, okay, what is actually life about? What is the purpose and stuff. The reason why he discarded religion, or he said it was an excuse, is because at that time they were going through wars. They were going, like, I'm talking about the context of Albert Camus. He was displaced, uh, cultural, feeling some kind of cultural root or cultural value was like lost. So all of these had an impact on the author, right? So that's why he kind of wrote that book to kind of like deliver his message on what his outlook was on life at that time, right?
Yeah. I'm just also thinking about it from the religious standpoint, that religious is a complex area that we can't just clearly just be like it's in this area because just the diversity of it. Because obviously, like we know, we've got Hinduism,
Mm.
Buddhism, and we've got Islam, which is so different to those two. It's just like technically it's two main categories separated of religion.
Yeah, and that's why even honestly, like even in like the way like I say I practice Islam and all that, but I'm not perfect. I don't like to talk in a position of religion to anyone, like because I'm not a first of all, I'm not a full scholar. I'm not someone who studied religion my whole life. I'm not like a perfect guy in the Quran, but I've done like as much as I can from my as a Muslim, like growing in the West and like in growing in from a Muslim family and everything. But for me, it's still a developing thing, right? And I have to question myself too. Like, am I really doing it according to my religion, or am I just like making up the rules? Right?
Yeah,
I have to see. Like, am I acting out of ego here? Am I acting out of ego because I think I'm better than this guy because I'm Muslim? Like that. All of these things are they're very wrong, right? They're very wrong, and you can see how why people are against religion is because of like look what's happening in Israel, right? Like look what's happening in even in India, like these wars that are happening in India, because what some guy thinks he's better than the other guy, not because of skin color, not because of language, not even because of education. It's because of some made up concept in his mind, right?
yeah.
And you don't even know, like, oh, they're going to say religion. No, it's not religion. It's just some false belief, some
But it's
false beliefs.
also, I think it's also to do with the masculine like imperative we got going on as well, because it's like
Mhm.
it's always every unless you're, it's pretty much as long as you're not, as long as you're with me, we're fine. But as long, but if you act against me, we're not. So then we, cause wars. Like think about like back in like ancient Rome, and yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
if you're not with me, you're against me, pretty much.
Yeah,
And even just to
but
jump back to more of the financial side, I'm just thinking crypto is a perfect example of that on a like a on a very level that everyone would be able to understand,
Mhm.
because it's, it's like everyone uses your own position as exit liquidity, or they just basically wait and then just wait and obviously just see all the retail buyers and then see what they're going to do and then just take that position out and then just be like, okay, and I'm just going to dump on your ass. Like, yeah, no, it's like as long as you. That's why it's like having your own team's important. So then you've got basically more of a strategic play, and you get more different points of view. Yeah,
You see that?
that's just
Yeah,
that's just
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes 100%. And that's what I'm seeing today. Like, recently with my job, like I have a team of like three, four now, yeah, four different people, and it's like from different background, different educations, different groups, different like mindsets, different methods of doing technically, things. You kind of like when you say something as a leader of that team, you have to basically it's like you have to take the weight of every single team member's input to seek and really validate what you're saying is it right, and you have to
Yeah,
really strip all you can say all associations of like ego, self, pride, whatever that can possibly or negatively impact your overall judgment of what you're saying and if it's correct, and how the team's going to move forward the project, broadly speaking. And yeah, like with your crypto initiative too, like I'm hoping or I'm thinking you already have a team for your crypto situation. And I know a few friends
no.
here in Montreal that have their own community.
Oh yeah, we got our own community. I'm just thinking from what I've just seen, and also from what I've, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a friend actually last week. I met him. He has his own crypto community. I mean, I joined it when he was like around 100 members. Now he's like doing really well. He has like over 200 members. He has a good Twitter base, like 1,200 followers, and he's living off of crypto, man. Like he's buying plane tickets to Dubai just using crypto.
I didn't know you could even do
He's
that.
he's mastered the rules of crypto. He has mastered the rules of crypto, like every single detail. Like when you make a mistake, he'll tell you after, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done it this way." always make sure, like for example, when someone's starting off in crypto and they want to transfer their first funds from their bank account to like the crypto and then from the crypto to another wallet, for example,
Yeah.
to just have another friend, always start with a small amount, like $5 or $10, the minimum that the system can, afford to transfer. And usually now with because there's so many systems and they're so big, you can just start with like $10 of worth of ETH and just send that. But some people they mess up, they go like, oh, I'm just gonna send this guy at 1K on the first transfer. And guess what? They forgot to copy the address or they sent it to the wrong like user, or they went through a bot and the bot was a fake bot, it was this duplicate bot.
Yeah.
All of these things can happen, and then the middleman who took the transfer, boom, he's gone with the money. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is, man. That's life. You have to learn your lesson. You have to know when you're making these transactions, especially financial transactions, you have to be 100% sure it goes from point A to point B securely,
Well, the things with financials, though, if you have the right skills and right systems in place, you can easily retrieve it back. But obviously, you know what I mean by that. But not obviously the lost money, but you can make the money back in other ways.
Yeah, 100%. But then you have to learn those other ways. And, well, like you said, at the end, you knew how to do it the first time. It's going to be easily transferable to the other places you can make.
Multiples, yeah. Like I'll tell you one of my first mistakes. I used my debit card instead of doing a bank transfer because I had a 3.5% surcharge on that.
I see.
Yeah, so I didn't have to pay any. So then I had to pay fees on top of more fees.
You see, that's where they get you.
That's how
It's
it
also
goes,
like
though.
it pushes you to do a bit more digging and a bit more research to
Yeah,
gain more knowledge on
100%.
these things. Yeah, that's what they all say. This is not financial advice. Whenever there's a crypto community, they always tell you that. Do your own research.
Yeah.
DYOR. Do your own research. But yeah, that's not just for money, but for life in general. Yeah.
You really shouldn't trust anyone unless you've got reason to trust them. Like, or you got systems to back them up, or yeah, like one of the day traders who I talked to, he's like, I don't trust anything I see on the news. I basically see the qualitative information and then I adjust it towards my system to actually cipher through like all the lies and everything else, and then I just do it through then I do it through a qualitative system, and then
Mm,
quantitative or whatever it is. I can't think of the name of it. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
it's quantitative. Yeah, to see what numbers adds up here,
Yeah.
here, here, and
Yeah.
then
That's
on top of that, I do the dividend yield, and then I do it from there, and then I buy, and then I got another system to sell.
And I'm pretty sure right now he's making lots because of that.
But then again, he's been doing it for the last like 30 years.
There you go. It's also experience, right? Doing your
Yeah.
own research in this field with how many years and how many mistakes you made and how many hits you took, and you still survived through it for 30 years. Like, okay, of course, after 30 years, you have to be at like, what, 50 million? I don't know, bro. But yeah,
Yeah.
depending on your luck too.
I know what his figures are round about, but because
Mm.
he's more of he's a day trader. I'm also an investor, so then we got two completely different models we work on.
Got you, got you. Yeah, a
Yeah.
day trader would be like, yeah, he's all in basically all the time.
Not all the time. He's very low risk tolerance actually,
Oh, okay.
but he just makes the consistent
Okay,
amounts, and he's just like, this is my goal for the
that's
day.
interesting.
Unless I burn out too quickly, this is what I'm going to do. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're disconnecting, but hope
Yeah,
it's good.
just because it connected to the car. But yeah, I'm just thinking of the systems analysis and also the systems in place.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and also how drastically they are defined from one to another. Like, do you have any systems in place for like your stocks or your shares, or like even for your like crypto?
As in systems, for now it's all self-managed. Right now
Yeah,
it's all self-managed but like for me personally, like what I do for my investments, yeah, a part of it is managed by the company system, So they take care of, like, I just tell them what kind of profile I want, what stocks I'm interested in, and then they manage it. And then the other half is me that manages it,
Okay.
right?
Oh, so you
So
got like a
then
50-50 split.
basically, so then how much confidence can I put in the company versus how much can I put in myself? And later on with time, you measure, you see, okay, you measure results. You see, okay, how much is it making there? How much am I making here? Am I making a better decisions? Am I making better, smarter moves and better results? And if that's the case, okay, then you know that the company isn't doing much for you,
Yeah.
in terms of
And
that.
also, hence coming back to the time cost analysis, really. Like, how much is it going to cost you to actually manage your own compared to the company, and then what's the profit percentage?
Mm, yeah.
Or if it's like
Mm.
based on the market, what's the market at this current time, and then how can you like accumulate it from there?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. But these analyses, like I'm telling you, with this background that I'm in, like it's hard to put my full brain in it. But if, let's say, for some reason I quit my job in engineering and stuff, the first thing I'll be doing is that finance, because I
Why
did start
finance?
doing it. Like I mean investments,
Yeah.
something related to finances. So in I guess a full-time trader, day trader, or investor, or some kind of online business slash crypto or stocks or whatever, just
So maybe the
investing.
mix of all of them.
Yeah, because engineering just takes so much of your time and energy, because they're literally going all in with whatever resources, like physical, mental, that you have,
Yeah.
mostly mental. So that's a good thing because it trains you like to your limit, but the con is like your the other aspects of your life kind of get affected, right? So like you probably will not be as fit, or you won't be as, you know, you're not going to be able to do multiple other things. You don't be multifaceted at the end. You're just geared towards, oh, I know how to do whatever algorithms for a computer that's gonna maybe trade.
I mean, that would be a bad idea because you've got enough, like, you've got more than enough understanding on systems and also how to do the proper coding. Could you then like sell like a software for finance or like a say a long term trading bot?
Yeah, you can definitely. I could do that for sure. It would take me maybe a couple months, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100% possible.
But also, what's the pros and cons between finance and like engineering? Like you said, obviously you're all in all day. You're very much your engineering is your main focus of your life, and everything else is laid back. And then what would it be like in like a world where you did finance instead?
Then I would basically, my full head would be into that. Like
Okay,
I'll
so
be
just
reading papers on finance. I'll be looking at different techniques. Basically, the same thing your friend was doing. Like he's reading up the news headlines, kind of extracting the quantitative data, even the qualitative data, like, kind of like emotional language on certain headline that a company released a certain product, right? And then something's gonna happen now. Okay, months later, if some stocks goes up, okay, I know that's gonna happen. Okay, I know I'm gonna invest here. Boom, that's
yeah,
like a decision right there. And then just going on from there, and then learning with experience, learning with time, sort of that's gonna be the play. And then yeah, like basically the same thing. It's transferable, 100% transferable. It's just a different way of thinking, or different application, and that's
yeah,
pretty much it.
yeah. I was just curious if your life would change in any other ways, just besides obviously your core trade.
Oh yeah, it probably would definitely. Like you're doing day trading, you're still spending time in front of the computer, so that doesn't
But it's like
change.
all day. It's like pretty much all day because you got to make profits
Yeah,
and you got deadlines and
yeah, it's the stress involved would be a lot better, a lot greater, because you're literally, money is on the line. Like it's not like engineering where you have layers and layers on top of you. So if you do something wrong here, or you do something wrong, you can still kind of buy time and like
Yeah.
kind of plan out kind of like contingencies and stuff.
Whereas
That's
investing
the
sort of
biggest.
investing's very, very similar to that as well.
Mm.
Investing's like the engineering of finance, really.
Give or take. It's still engineering. I would say still there's still layers like below that. Investing,
I mean, it's like the engineering of finance. Like, just because it's my system, if you think about it, it's more than likely the most systematic process.
yeah, because while you're breaking down, yeah, when you invest as an investor, like going in, you have to break down how whatever you're going to invest into is going to return
Yeah.
or is going
Especially over
to.
the long term. And how much
It,
multiples are you going to get?
yeah, it is. It is in a way because you have to kind of reverse engineer the thing you're investing into and figure out how much value is it really, how much, what are people going to see, because in the end it's going to be the people's money going into that's going to return, right?
Yeah,
In
but
the
also
end.
you got to make sure it's enough for, let's just say, if you're a company, you to make a profit as well as your client to make more of a profit than what you do.
Yeah, that how do you make sure of that? Well, you
Yeah.
can't make sure of how your clients are going to make more profit
No, that's
for you
just pretty
unless
much
you
using there and then dividing it by the cut.
yeah, dividing by the cut is a different story. Like how much people can cut from, that's a different story. But
Yeah.
like you said, how people are outside, like the clients, how are they going to be making more than how much you're investing in? I guess that's something you can't really control because you don't know, okay, are they how the circumstances of each, you have to know the circumstances of each of your clients
Yeah.
to know, okay, this guy's doing this, he's doing that, how much money are they all making, and then how much can I cut from each one? But the pro to that is you have to know each client personally
Yeah.
to know, okay, how much is he able to pay me? How much is he able to pay me for that project? And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people online that operate that way. They sell their book and they just on literally the amount where they sell it, they don't put any amount. They just leave it a placeholder box and they tell you enter the amount you can afford for this book or how much value you think this book can give you. And they just enter it and then they complete the order and then the thing gets shipped for them.
Yeah.
Literally, that's how it is. And doing that gives you an idea of, okay, the client, how much is he making? What's his circumstances? Does he really, is it really a problem for them? Or can they just give, out of generosity and like, because, okay, money is not a problem or something? So
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, I actually have clients that are willing to give here. And I have other clients that are just, they're still struggling, they're still going through life, whatever, and they can't give it up. But at least they have a copy of my book. So if they found value, they might spread it to another circle there.
Yeah.
That's another way of looking at it too. Like if it's a guy who gave less, but he saw how much value your book gave to him, and he applied it to his life and he made him more money, then you best bet that he's gonna take your book and share it to the guys around him, and those guys are gonna select. Okay, we're not gonna give him just a couple cents here. We're probably gonna give him, $5,
Yeah.
$10, whatever. Now you're getting his circle to. So you see that mindset, like right there. It's a pretty good way of looking at it.
But then again, you and I got two very completely different points of view on that. I've got the same point of view as Hormozy,
Mm.
like you just provide value, provide value, provide value for free for like your first 100 clients. Or let's just say you have one client come over, let's just say
Technically,
four
it's
or
not
five
for
times.
free. It's not free. You're telling them how much can you give for it. So
Yeah.
you're asking your clients the question of value. You're
Yeah.
not just you're not just skipping value. You're not just putting value aside and here's my book.
Yeah.
You're
But
still
it's
you're
more so
still
just to
you're
see the
still
quality of the
assigning. You're
service.
still yeah, exactly. You're still saying like, look, this book has. You know why you say that? Because like Denyin, there's a lot of people out there that's, to be honest, they don't understand why money was even created and invented, and they don't even
Yeah.
understand the concept of value. It's like it's pretty sad. Like some people are born into those circumstances, and it's tough, you know. Especially kids, like bro, kids don't they don't know what money even means. Like they just see money, that shit. It's
No,
just like dopamine for them. It's
pretty
like candy.
much.
But
Like the
yeah,
next thing that they're gonna, yeah, like the next pile of drugs and the next thing of alcohol they're gonna buy.
or just give them candy or like an ice cream and just call it a day.
That'd be better off with that than yeah. But then I'm just saying is more so let's just say provide your first 50 clients a free service and then from there um starts actually charged based on the value and also based on the reviews because the backup reviews also follow and then you can start charging a higher fee for yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I was more so going towards and pretty much more higher tier your quality goes to the more and more you can charge.
Mm. Yeah, it makes sense.
Because the world is also very, very different in your socio-economic. Because you think just because you've grown up, let's just say because you've grown up with no money, you think everyone has no money, and then as soon as you slowly grow up the social hierarchy more, so the more and more they say, oh, people only got this amount. Oh, they only got this amount. Oh, they only got this amount, and then the more and more you can see it around you, like, oh shit, there's like money everywhere. It's like how did but the difference is how do the rich people get it? What are we doing that's so wrong? And like how can we properly accumulate it to their extent? Or if I were to work, what's the risk to reward ratio? Or if I was to do this activity, but yeah, like the growing and co-evolving with your circumstances. Like there's always going to be people with money, so then you just got to market towards them.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of posts on Reddit that talk about like rich people post on money, and they're like, the reason we don't talk about it is because we know all the shit that we had to go through to get to here, to where
Yeah,
we are. So they just refuse to talk about it. Like these guys are 50 million net worth, and they're like 35. But they just keep quiet because they know how much shit they went through and how like it's a tough journey. But honestly, me and you, Denyon, like I went through a lot of shit. I'm still willing to go through more.
yeah.
Same
I
thing with you, man. Like we
I
have to bounce
love I
back no matter
love doing
what,
that. I love doing
bro.
that. Been like, oh shit, I can't afford to rent. Well, how the fuck am I going to work something out so I can actually pay it?
But yeah, it feels like bro. Me too. Same thing, bro. Like look at my place. I'm living as a single man. I refuse to do a relationship with another woman, especially here in Canada. Why? Because first of all, trust. Like I mean, my value system. You know where I'm from. It's not that easy for me. And on top of that, like I can't risk it. Like all that that I accumulated, and given my family where I came from, so it's tough. I'd rather stick to my bros and build with them.
Yeah, and then get the woman
Here or
after.
like elsewhere. Yeah. What's up?
Oh, and then get the woman after, or
Yeah, exactly. Get the woman of your dreams after. Or if she's there looking at you doing the whole thing and later on she decides, this guy actually pulled it off. Okay, then I
yeah,
might, I might actually approach her. It could be a friend that I knew like for a long time. I mean, I've known a lot of guys marry, their well, like, just a friend, like a companion lady that was in their life, and then later on they're like, oh, this guy actually, because then they can actually see you build, and they appreciate that versus a woman that you met in your 30s and she barely knows your life and everything and your journey, and then she just sees you like for 6 months, and then you have to engage because you're in your 30s.
yeah.
Risky business, but yeah.
But we've got a lot more longevity than what females have in that regard because we can pretty much have kids until the day we die.
But females outlive us
Yeah, but I'm just
generally
saying we got a
speaking.
longer
So we can
process
die
of like
before the woman. So
yeah,
most of the time, a guy dies before his woman, like his married, like if they're married, of course. But
yeah.
even
But I'm
their
just saying
partner,
is because we can pretty much still produce kids whenever we can pretty much like go like multiple like 10 to 15 years younger. Let's just say you're like 45, you can go to like 30, or let's just say if you're like 20, if you're like 45, 25, something like that.
yeah. as long as
Yeah.
you're alive and God sees a purpose for you here on in this life, you're gonna keep going, man. You're still gonna be keep producing, and you're gonna have to eventually have kids, and for however long. I've seen some men in their 60s still have kids, like, bro. It's crazy, like it. But I've seen that, bro. Like,
Yeah. Well, actually, one of my mates' dads is like 70, from what I've been told.
insane. So,
Yeah.
like, bro, it's a gift from God. What can you say? My man package is a gift from God. Just like it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what
Anyways,
it
bro, we
is.
can end it off there, bro. That's a good note.
Yeah.